his opinion on the big match going on between Ongarbayev and Toddzilla. You know, what's your thoughts on that? Who's going to get the win?
Oh man, fucking Todd, doesn't he look fucking retarded right now? Like,
yeah, for real.
Like he's
so strong.
And the thing is, he like it looks like he only pulls really in one angle, but he's mastered his technique so well that he can work on keeping the angle that he needs to be able to maintain his power, right? So it's it's hard to fucking bet against Todd, but then you look at fucking Ongarbayev, like the son of a bitch is creating moves mid matches. You know what I mean? Like we've got a new move now that we call in our clubhouse the Ongarbayev, right? Your wrist starts to go, you pop forward, next thing you know, you're on top of it. Like that's the Ongarbayev, right? Before that was, what did you even call that, right? It was not even possible. You know what I mean? All of a sudden he's pulling shit out of his fucking arse. The dude's a fucking ninja on the table, right? Like he's like an 18th fucking degree black belt when it comes to fucking his ability to build technical and fucking transition from one move to another on the table. And the things I have seen with Todd in the past where he has been vulnerable is those guys that have them quick reflexes where they're able to hit into a different position quicker than you're able to counter it to realize what that person is doing. Like if you look at the way when Prudnik pulled him, Prudnik wasn't so much power through him, but he was just snapping into a position where Todd would be angled like this, where he can't really engage the side pressure as opposed to if he's palm flat out, right? So he was driving Todd into angles and positions where Todd wasn't able to mobilize his power. And I fucking can't look at fucking Ongarbayev and think in my mind that man ain't going to be capable of doing the same kind of thing, right? So I'm kind of on the fence just with how Todd has been looking, how dominant he's been. I want to see Todd win just because it's awesome fucking seeing the West go in there and kick some ass. But at the same point, I look at Ongarbayev and just seeing what he's capable of. If you see that guy walking on the street, you wouldn't think for a second that this dude is one hell of a fucking arm wrestler. He looks just like a regular dude. But when you get him on the table, it's mind-blowing what his capabilities are, right? So I'm actually I'm saying 55 Ongarbayev, 45 for Todd, just because of the way that Ongarbayev could transition and throw Todd into possible shitty angles before he has a chance to be able to stop him from doing it, right?
Yeah, it's going to take a real technician that day, and you just said it, Ongarbayev is that ninja technician that might be able to do it, but at the same time, is he going to have enough power to stop that side pressure? Because just like you said, we just seen him in Florida. I think he was practicing over there with Craig Sulerby and Artem Tararenko, and I mean, dude, he just looks insane strong right now.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you get into a horsepower session with him, like you look at when Brzezinski pulled him, like there was no bang snapping into a position. It was kind of just like a slow grunt pull, power pull, and you don't want to do that with Todd, right? Like he controlled Brzezinski. Unfucking believable the way he was able to have fucking Brzezinski palm up and inside. Like it was uncanny. You don't see that really ever, just because Brzezinski's ability to be able to pronate through somebody's hand with his thumb is absolutely insane. So the fact that Todd was still able to control him, it's like, how much fucking powerful is this dude getting, right? So, but we haven't seen that with one of them quick twitch fiber guys that also is known to actually have a lot of power. It doesn't look very powerful, but look at his record; it speaks for itself, right? So,
and I remember gripping his hand, man, and that thing was just like you said. You don't expect it. And then you grab the hand, and it is just steel, man. Those Kazakhstan guys don't play around, and he's like the master of them all. He's the big teacher over there. So definitely really excited about that match. I can't wait to see that one go down.
I think Todd has kind of not completely, but in a way, he has changed his style. In last couple of years, he basically went from a guy trying to force people in a hook from a complete top roller. If you watch that match back in like slow motion or at even normal speed, you see Todd top rolling John Brzezinski to the pad. Like that's how he finished those matches. It was a top roll. He calls it a Todd roll. Nobody would have expected a year or two ago that Todd Hutchings is going to top roll John Brzezinski. The biggest mistake that he was doing, that's why he lost his match against Zoloev at East versus West, one match you were there. He was like 3 times in a row. He tried to catch Zoloev in a hook. He was shooting forward for a hook, and he was just getting flash pinned by him. Now he's not going forward against anyone. He's like always going back, always going back. At least he's able to get a slip, and in the straps he's a completely different animal. So stylistically, I think it can be a difficult match for Ongarbayev, because when you're banging in a hook, you can maybe do a can opener from there. You can switch to a tricep press, but once that side pressure is engaged, I don't think there are many opportunities to make any kind of adjustments from there, because we have seen guys in the past, when Todd engages the side pressure, they try to move, but nothing other than their own body moves, like the arm just stays there.
Oh, I know. I felt
Matt,
it.
sorry. I want to ask Matt, what is the key to beating Todd, with that extreme side pressure? Is it really just going more powerful with back pressure? Is that the key to beating him?
I don't really know the key to beating him, because I personally haven't fucking beat the man myself. If I was able to beat him, I would about to sit here and tell you all the fucking tricks, but I've never actually been able to put his arm to the pad. So honestly, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. When you figure it out, let me fucking know, because
so, yeah, he's unbelievable.
I would assume, just by where you see Todd, where his power and everything is, Todd's power is all coming from right to left, coming straight at you. And if his palm is in the direction and the way that he's driving that power, he's got all the fucking power in the world. I think if you're somehow able to turn his palm upside down to where he's not able to drive so much with the side pressure, but now he's in an angle where he's doing like a chop. Like, have you ever seen Todd press in any way? I haven't seen him press. Todd can only side pressure. Somebody like Jerry, where they're like this, they can press straight down on top of the guy. You get Jerry more into this position, and it's a different angle for Jerry, right? Like, you're able to get more separated. Todd, I think, is kind of the opposite of Jerry. I think Todd, if he's in this position, he's able to drive that side pressure all day long. But as soon as he gets into here, now it's a different angle, and he really needs to start driving this way. So I think that's how you may be able to. I don't know. We'll see if Ongarbayev can show us the way, right? So
yeah, that's it.
But I think it's more change. I think it's more just changing the angle of his arm and where his power is coming from, to prevent him from engaging that side pressure, right? Because he can side pressure like this, but as soon as you turn his hand this way, I don't see his side pressure being as much powerful this way as it is him coming this way, right?
That makes sense. So, it's just you got to get his hand supinated like that, which that could be the trick.
That's the problem, right? Because he's been working on so much of this that he's able to control that now, right? So.
Yeah.